positive energy and good vibrations from me to you. You have now tuned in to Imperfect Fathers Podcast. Okay. Good money, good
Now
money.
we looking good.
Now we feel good?
Yeah, we looking good.
All right.
Camera looking good. Okay.
Good money. What up, kid?
What's good, baby?
How you?
Another day, another dollar.
Back at it. We back at it
again.
Positive energy.
And good vibrations.
From me to you, this is your boy, RJD, the Imperfect Gentleman.
And
my guy.
your boy, JP, the Imperfect Husband.
And this is another dope episode of the Imperfect Fathers Podcast. What's good, gang out there? What's going on, man?
What's good, our Imperfect family?
Yeah, we back.
How y'all feeling?
Excuse me.
Hold up, I want to make a little sound on here because this sounds kind of dope sometimes.
You trying to get a sponsor. Yo, listen. Yo, bubbly.
Yeah. You have an email in your inbox.
Let me
Check
do
your email in your
let me do what he
inbox.
did. Yeah, we just trying to get paid out here. That's what we trying to do. We just trying to get some money out here. That's what we doing. Ooh, that's good. Yeah. Yo, go out there and get you a bubbly, man. This is the strawberry version.
Yep.
Pretty decent. And it's healthy for you. It got a whole bunch of zeros on the back of the can. That's how you know it's good for you. When you see a whole bunch of zeros on the back. What's up, my guy? Besides our little commercial.
Hopefully next episode we'll be able to say, this episode is sponsored by Bubbly.
Yeah, if we got water bottles next week, you know they holler at us. Oh, and as a matter of fact, talking about next week, let's talk about last week. We want to take this moment to apologize
Facts.
for the technical difficulties. We had an issue with the camera last week. We definitely did give you guys a podcast to step to, and we believe it's probably one of our best ones yet. Yeah. And then just because the camera it wasn't doing what it's supposed to do, but we were still able to get you the content. But we wanted to apologize for the technical difficulties. And going forward, yo, we will also continue to try to make sure that that does not happen again. But we're imperfect, so it happens.
Yes, sir.
But one thing that's not going to happen today is I'm not going to sit and play the father upstairs and not give him his due justice. So with that being said, gracious and eternal God, thank you once again for giving us the opportunity to be in this space. Thank you for life itself. Thank you for everything, God, the good, the bad, the indifferent, all of it. Because we know collectively that makes up this experience called life, and we are appreciated. God, right now we say thank you for everything, our imperfections, our perfections, and things that we do not have. We say thank you for it all because we are truly grateful for the experience. Right now, Father, we actually look over us as we go across these airways, these podcast waves, and we go into the ears of our people, that we say something that might just move them to be a better version of themselves. That is our prayer, and this is why we do what we do. And for that, we say thank you and continue to look over us. In Jesus' name we do pray.
Amen.
Yeah, man. So, what's up, man, bro? How are you, man?
Welcome to another beautiful day.
Talking about beautiful. Interesting and beautiful at the same time. I would talk about what happened this morning, but I'll wait until make sure everything is legitimate. You know what I'm saying? Legally and all that stuff. Just know people, like, I'm serious when it comes about to not just my children, but our children. Understand what I'm telling y'all. I don't play no games when it comes to the likelihood, the well-being, or the health of any child that's in my vicinity, in my arm's reach, or within my community at all. So if you ever want to see me out of sorts or beyond myself, you know what not to do. You know what I'm saying?
Put a test.
Yeah. We don't. I don't want to say too much because certain things transpired, and we got to make sure that I'm out of the.
I ain't gonna say much. I'm just gonna say I'm his right hand.
That's it. Word. That's all. So
not too much words when it comes to that.
But on a positive note, let's tell the people what we talked about a few days ago. We decided we're gonna go into coaching, man.
Yeah.
We're gonna get back into coaching the young kids in basketball and doing what we love to do, man. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to tell you off camera, but yo, just having that conversation with you that day, I don't know if you paid attention, but I lit up and so did you. Like I was in a tire funk that day, and we started talking basketball and them kids.
Yeah.
It woke me up a little bit.
Even at the rec level, just knowing that we'll be able to help these kids and help them develop and,
Yeah.
Become better people for their future.
Absolutely.
For themselves.
And one thing I've learned too, bro, coaching makes us better.
Of course.
We can't, when you're a coach of any sort, right? We're talking about basketball right now, but when it comes down to me coaching even men in the space of confidence development, it makes you better in those moments, because when you're talking and you're giving instruction and you're giving direction, you hear yourself speak. And a lot of times, more than not, you're talking to yourself as well as whoever you're coaching.
Yeah.
So you'll be a hypocrite not to be able to hear yourself realize, ooh, let me go deal with that myself.
9 times out of 10.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You catch yourself saying something that you yourself end up saying, shit. Am I talking to myself today?
Preaching right to yourself, bro. Like,
I'm talking to myself.
Majority, like you said, I would say 99.9 times out of 10.
You know what's the craziest part is when you're doing, us as, with the podcast, with the Imperfect Fathers podcast, we do our research. We narrow down into the topics that we're talking about, so that we're not just talking out our face here.
Right.
We have some facts and some foundation and fundamentals into what we're saying. And while doing the research, you have a tendency of like just sitting there for a moment and taking in this information that you're investigating.
Yeah.
And how it's affecting your life.
Yes, absolutely. I tell everyone that, like, any man that I coach, and they all will tell you this one statement that I use with everyone: I'm not better than you. I don't know more than you. I just came to this information before you did. Yep. There's many more bits of information that you came to before I still don't have. So a lot of times in my coaching, it's a lot of times where it's a give and take, because where I will be helping directing, maybe in a relationship area, maybe between a husband and a wife, or a spat between a father and a child, I'll learn something because they'll have information that I don't have, and I'm very transparent. Hey, bro, can you speak on that a little bit? Could you inform me a little bit? Because at the end of the day, just because I'm supposed to be your coach or somebody helping you with something, that don't make me better. It just makes me somebody that's willing to help. That's all.
That's it.
That is literally it, man. So like I get excited from the thought process of being able to help someone, not just in that moment, because I know that's like it's bigger than that. Like, for instance, I just seen Tristan, the kid I ain't seen in a long time. I know for a fact a lot of things that I instilled in him, he's still doing to this day. You see what I'm saying? And I can see that. I haven't seen him play basketball. It's just how he carries himself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and even your children, they give you hell some days. But then a lot of that stuff that they do, it's good. The discipline that they put in early, and I got a chance to be with them and really spend time with them. So I know for a fact that when we give our time and we give our efforts to these children, it's not in vain, bro.
Yeah.
And that's what I love the most. Because we talked about it earlier. We can do a whole bunch of things, bro, and they lead to nothing.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, the seed that we plant in each one of these kids that we interact with, bro, we'll never see the tree, but the people around will have that shade, though. And that's good enough. You know what I mean? You can
always know the type of seed you left implanted in a child when they grow older.
Yeah.
I use myself as an example. Like, I can think back to the security guard in my elementary school, Mr. Reed, and see, because of the type of person that he was, that he was one of those unforgettable people. He was always there. No matter what, he was always there. And we create that type of impact on children.
Whether you know it or not.
Because
right now, I bet you, wherever he is in right now, if he's with us or he's not with us right now, I bet you right now, you're the farthest thing from his mind. You know what I'm saying? He don't know the kind of impact that he left with you, that you still remember his name to this day.
That is
you see what I'm saying?
And we're talking about elementary, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Impact.
I'm not trying to age myself or nothing right now. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't yesterday.
It wasn't just last week.
It wasn't even yesteryear.
It was a couple decades.
Shit.
Yo, you know you get old when you're talking decades. Yeah, about a decade ago, about a few decades ago.
So that shows the type of impact that a person can leave.
Absolutely.
So we always have to try and be as positive as possible because the kids that are around us are looking. They're looking and learning.
What was the teacher's name again?
Mr. Reed.
I'm about to give him mine.
He wasn't a teacher.
He was a security guard.
He was the gym teacher.
Okay.
He was the gym teacher.
He had many hats then. That means he had all the hats. But he was the security guard also. Right, I already know. In a black school, like you a gym teacher, you security, you probably the coach of sports too. After school program probably.
Yep.
He's probably getting that bag on the low. Working all those jobs.
Back then, you think, bro, teachers ain't get paid nothing.
Nah, they didn't get no money, but the thing about it is
even today,
it's certain stipends for like
yeah.
I learned a little bit. Y'all not getting paid what y'all worth, but there are some teachers that know that there's money in the education system.
They know the wiggle room.
Yeah. Shout out to y'all, and I know who y'all are too.
they know how to play those games. Huh?
Yeah. You look up and be like, how you clear 6 figures in education? You know what I mean? But the truth,
I still think that they're completely undervalued, bro.
By far.
Completely undervalued.
They're the people that create our tomorrow.
Yeah.
So like their value is immense. Like and they get paid fragments on it.
And it explains why a lot of teachers just end up stop becoming educators of children and are just there for $1.
Yeah.
Because
it's a sad world.
It's very unappreciative.
And people always say to me, like, because I have a lot of influence in young men when they going from elementary, I'm from high school into college. I speak to a whole lot, and they ask me, what's some of the careers I should choose? And I would love to tell a young man, go into the school, bro, and become a teacher. I would love to say that.
Yeah.
But understanding our economic situation we're in, where we are as people, I'm setting that young man up for failure for his whole entire family by telling him to go study and learn to be a teacher and receive that salary that he can't even live on his own with.
You know what's the saddest part, though? That teachers in school are extremely undervalued, but the ones that go out and do it on YouTube are rich.
Yeah, but it's not sad. It's set up that way, and let me tell you why.
That is so messed up.
You know why?
So many ways.
Because when we say school, and the reason I say it's not sad is where it is because when we say school, we have a heart that says, "Oh, school's supposed to be a place of preparation," right? We've been brainwashed to say, "Oh, this is a place of preparation," but in no actuality, and we might deal with some smoke behind this, but I know the truth. They're dumbing children down.
Yes.
Slowing educational down by state.
Yes.
Where we're from, where we are.
I read a book called Weapons of Mass Instruction.
Yeah. And that's serious. That's real rap.
Yes.
And it's intentionally done.
Yes.
Yo, I can't say too much of that because I don't want to get my peoples in trouble. But I know for a fact they slow children down here. I know for a fact. For a fact, Jose. Like, I seen it in real time. Oh, you doing yeah, that's too much. Yeah. So
that's wild.
Shout out to the teachers who look beyond the finances, yo, and see us. Because the one for me was Miss Smith. Miss Smith was my junior high school, IS 59, my music teacher. Beautiful black woman. Beautiful. Dreads to here, fair skin, heart of gold, but didn't play about her black babies. She taught me to appreciate being black, Jose. Miss Smith was the truth. To this day, I don't know where you at, Miss Smith, but thank you. Dead serious. Thank you.
Giving shout outs to teachers that are out there. I say the same thing for my kids, middle school teachers, all of the teachers from CAD Academy, because I kid you not, it's been a completely different experience than what I was experiencing when they entered middle school, Junior being in 6th and Celine in 7th. Right. It was a nightmare. Imagine. It was a nightmare, and changing them to that school was a complete changer in everything, attitude and behavior, in their learning patterns. You can see the difference from night to day. So I say the same thing for those teachers. It's a lot of names to mention, but just to mention a few: Miss Doucet, Miss Montez, Mr. Pritikin, all of these teachers that are in that school. Miss Maria, they have all been so impactful in our lives.
Yes.
Because it doesn't only impact their lives. It impacts our lives as well, because it gives us that serenity.
Yeah.
To be able to just sit back and know that your children are in well hands, are in good hands.
Yes.
Right? The principal of the school, the vice principal of the school, Ms. Gonzalez, I believe is the name of the vice principal, and the principal also amazing people.
Yeah.
Mr. Will Frisbee being the director of the school. Yeah. Thank you. You have an amazing establishment. Thank you for what you do for our children. Because yes, in every school there's knuckleheads, right?
Yeah, I was one. You was one.
Every school there's knuckleheads. But they are so on top of these kids that they're able to have those one-to-one conversations with these kids and make them feel like they're at home.
Yeah.
And that makes a life of a difference.
Yeah.
Because at that point you start believing that people care about you.
Yeah. You're not just in an establishment.
Exactly.
You're somewhere like Cheers, where everybody knows your name.
Exactly.
You understand? Like, it's a space where you can go in where you know that not only are you going to be protected, but you're going to be loved on as well.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? And like for teachers like that, for like, you are the reason why we come out the way we come out.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, to every teacher who's feeling like underwhelmed and overpaid. Overpaid. For teachers who feel underpaid and overwhelmed, because I know y'all don't feel overpaid. My heart goes out to you guys, and I thank you because y'all do the work that others can't do, number one, because y'all patience is beyond human, right?
Yeah.
Y'all patience is beyond human.
Listen, you got to be another type of human to be a 7th grade teacher.
Say that.
You got to be different.
Ultra different.
Oh, my God.
Yo, because what happens is, at that age and stage, they start having this thought process of, oh, I'm big enough to say and do now. And you got to deal
with all of it.
All of it.
With all of it.
And like, yo, and let's be real right now. We didn't perfect fathers. We as parents, all of us ain't shit.
Yeah.
A lot of us is the issues while our kids ain't shit. Huh? Yeah, I'm going there. I said it. Because I see on both sides. See, I live with an educator. I get it. And now that I'm behind the scenes and I mentor and I coach young ones as well, I see it on a whole nother level. It's amazing that a teacher will spend 8 hours of their day with a child, right?
Yeah.
8 hours, 5 consecutive days, right? And then a parent will come up to the school and disregard what the teacher is saying the child is doing and say, my child don't do that. Don't worry, teachers, I got your back. I got y'all. You nappy head motherfucker. How you gonna tell this person who's literally giving of themselves all day long
and spends more time with them than you do?
And you got the audacity, the gall, the unmitigated gall to pull up to a school and then want to go off on a teacher for the teacher telling you the truth about your little nappy head and run. Huh? Oh, yeah. I got smoke for him. Yeah. I live with an educator. So like I said, I got smoke for him. Because, Jose, what you can't do is tell a teacher. Now, there's asshole teachers out there. We ain't even talking about those.
We're not talking about those.
They exist.
There are some.
Yeah, I'm not discrediting
as a parent, once you meet that teacher, you know. And you know when they bullshitting you. Come on. Once you meet them.
Come on. You can smell it a mile away.
Because you know what? We were in that grade too one time. Right. So we know.
Come on.
We know the genuine ones.
Yes.
And we know the bullshit.
Yes. And we can smell you.
From a mile.
Literally. So disregarding the bullshit ones, right? But those genuine teachers, you got the audacity. This teacher, not only, let's talk about what teachers do. They got 8 hours, right? And in their day, they're being pulled on by administration all day long for dumb shit that administration thinks because they're sitting behind a desk all day can get done, right? So now they're being pulled all day long. They got kids that some of them are not on level. some of them are. They got a mixture of all kind of things. Then they got to deal with each child on an individual basis. And then they got to deal with the family that comes with that child on an individual basis. And then on top of all of that, Jose, you want to stroll your behind in here and tell this teacher who's genuinely heartfelt about this child, because she spends more time with this child than she does with her own.
Yes.
And she's trying to tell you where your child is at genuinely. And you have the audacity to go off because you don't want to hear the truth. You're not prepared for the truth. Or you're not emotionally stable, whatever it is. But you come in and then tell this person that she's not shit and going off on his tangents, and they're getting paid less than $60,000 a year? Listen, parents, be better. You know who I'm talking to. If it's you, wear it. Clean the shoe up.
And if you think you could do better, you grab 25 kids.
25 kids that you don't know from the beginning of a year that you have to learn throughout the year.
You go and teach 25 kids all in one classroom.
and
for a measly 60 grand.
Measly. Facts. Because that's no money for what they're doing. Because, Jose, I didn't even get to the point of what they're doing after school.
Yep. Yo, I know teachers that would stay with the children that need help. Stay in the school, giving them out of their time.
Yeah, you ready for this? And this may sound harsh and all that. I have to snatch my wife out of the job sometimes. We need you more than they need you. She loves teaching these kids that much that I got to demand her to leave.
Because they become her kids.
Right. And saying all of that, they still got to deal with the nonsense. And these kids are not the way they are because they came into the building and just want to be this way. Nothing happens like that in life. You only show up how you've been what? Groomed to show up. So if you got a loudmouth little kid that's disrespectful and wild crazy, you know what's going on at home.
Yep.
And you can tell what's happening by just looking at a child. Yep. And bro, honestly, that slides right into what we're talking about right now.
Yep.
Failed expectations.
Failed expectations.
Because this is the topic that you brought up, bro. So I really want you to explain that. But I know right now, failed expectations is exactly why children are slipping the way they're slipping, and a parent slipping the way they're slipping.
It's more on the parents.
Absolutely,
it's more on the parents.
It's us.
One. They didn't do their job as parents in educating their children, so the child goes into the school
because they leave them with go to school and learn. Yeah.
And they
home you chilling.
So they expect that what they taught at home taught at home.
That's what I say.
is how they're gonna act outside.
Right.
And then they end up going into a turmoil and all pissed off when they find out that they didn't act the way they thought they were going to act. So it was an expectation that you built that didn't exist.
And bro, and one thing that I speak on, because I went through it, is like having expectations for your family that you don't have for yourself, that you're not upkeeping yourself. And that's been one of my biggest things, because I was doing that for a spell in my life. My expectations was, everybody should just be knowing what they should be doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We all do that.
You should know you should be doing this. You should know you should be doing that. Why do I have to tell you? That was my thought process. But as a leader, that's what you're supposed to be doing. Duh.
Yeah.
Like, you're supposed to be giving direction. You can't assume that they know it.
But are we really being leaders if we're not guiding?
No.
If we're not leading?
No.
Because having an expectation of what somebody else is supposed to do is not leading.
No. Hell no.
That falls into the same. We had a topic on this in one of our episodes. It goes together with permissive parenting.
Hand in hand.
Hand in hand.
Hand in hand.
Because when you expect a child to do XYZ because you've spoken about it in the past, but there's never been a consequence to it, did you really lead?
Nah. And honestly, like, we have expectations because we feel like we've learned it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've learned it. And like, I say this now more than ever because my son is my son and my daughter's my daughter. But that does not make my learned experiences theirs.
Yeah.
So what I already know, they have to learn. Now, I can't get frustrated in their learning process because that's when failed expectations come into play. Because now here I am saying, oh, you're supposed to know this. I'm 40 years old. 6, 7, 13 to 12. How?
Actually, 14, 13.
My bad. I don't want to. Yo, niece and nephew, don't do me dirty. I know how sensitive that is. I'm not that. That's at my age. I know. I get it. My bad.
He's a year late.
At least I didn't make you. Well, you know they like being older. So, yo, is it crazy? You want to be older until you get older?
Until you get older.
But yeah, bro. Like, I totally look at this like my expectations for my family now are what I'm willing to put in the work. You see what I'm saying? Like, so if I'm working and I'm putting the energy in, oh, y'all better be doing the same. Because you're gonna follow my lead. You're not gonna follow so much what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I've learned that, like, because even my son and my daughter, like, it's like, oh, well, daddy said this. But when I'm doing it, I look behind me, they're doing it with me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's more of a action based over words. And that's where I think the expectation for me, where the failure stops, is because it's no longer where you're expecting to do something. You see them, that you're supposed to be doing what you see your dad doing. You're supposed to follow suit. Not me saying, oh, go do. Right? And I'm just...
Yeah, do as I say, not as I do.
And that's the bullshit we was raised on.
That's the bullshit we was raised on.
Talk about how bad you hated that. Because I swear I couldn't stand that.
You can't tell me that you still don't find yourself doing that at times. But you know what the difference is, though? I believe we've learned from those past experiences.
Absolutely.
And in my case, what ends up happening is because there's times that you have to implement that. Now, go do what I told you because I told you to do it.
Yeah, period.
But then after you come to yourself and you say, you know what, let me sit them down and explain to them why.
And that wasn't there last
we never got
generation.
That.
Yeah, we never got the why.
We never got
the why. Was actually condemned.
Yes.
Remember that?
Why you asking? It ain't your business. Go mind your business.
You ask me why?
You want to get your ass up?
My front is in my mouth right now. Like, and all the why was curiosity.
Of course.
But it was deemed disrespectful because of the trauma that they went through.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So it's a trickle effect. Oh,
you don't question me.
Yeah, but I need to learn.
And truthfully, we probably had it way better than they had it. Yeah. Because they probably learned from theirs.
And they had it rougher.
And they had it way rougher than we did.
Yeah, like they was getting violated. Like we'll look at what they went through as violation.
So and
that's growth though. That's evolution.
Yeah. Yeah. And when it comes to failed expectations, failed expectations from your children, right? They're expectations that are manageable. Right? You can always sit back and say, I understand because they're children. Right. So I have to find a way to be able to lead them better. Right. Be a better leader.
Right. Absolutely.
Where it gets complicated, it's when it's with your significant other.
Yee. Hello.
That
just got real. Shit just got real, y'all. Did it get hot this morning or is it me? True statement, though, boy. Shit. True statement. Never been a true statement, kid.
Yeah, that's so. We need to be able to manage our own expectations.
Correct.
And stop believing that others need to treat us as we treat them.
You can't treat somebody with the same expectation of them treating you the same because they're not you. You know what I mean?
When you expect, you are bound to fail.
Yeah. Expectations are set up.
Yeah.
Like in a sense of when you're looking at it, expecting something outside of yourself. See, expectation for yourself is drive, right? You have a certain expectation for yourself that you're going to put yourself towards. That's a motivating factor. Expectation is good in that sense. But when you expect something outside of yourself from another individual that's outside of you, that's when you start having complete fallouts and failed expectations. Because you can't expect something from out of another individual based upon who you are. You're not them. And we always talk about we become one in all this. That's spiritually, right? Physically, we're still two separate individuals that have separate feelings throughout the entire day. So, and this is what we talked about off air. When you have expectations for your spouse, it's because you really don't respect their day. And that was a real thing that I had to eat first before I was able to spew that at somebody else. Excuse me. I had to eat that because I said to myself, when I was working, I came home from work. Why isn't the house right? Why is it still stuff all over the place? Why is this? Why is that? Right? And I had that energy, as most fathers do, husbands do. You come home from working all day. Now you've went through some shit.
Yeah.
Right? You fought traffic. You dealt with your boss. You dealt with your manager that need to get laid. Your person next to you in your cubicle ain't washing a week. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You dealing with a whole heap of shit. And then guess what? Your money is already spent before you get it.
Your money doesn't equal the
what you going through to get there. Yeah, real shit. Now we laughing so we don't cry, right? Because it's true facts. But then you deal with all of that. You get a half an hour to eat. You got to scarf food down. You got to hurry up and get back to your desk. You deal with all that. Now you got to fight traffic. Home. Now, you've been through all of that, which you rightfully did. You legitimately went through the world today. And nobody's taking that away from you. But do you know what happened on the other side of those doors that you've been to walk into? Do you know what transpired inside of that home all day? Do you know what her experience was throughout the entire day? Most likely no. But this is why I think that God has blessed me to see on both sides. Because guess what happened? My wife, we had babies. I had to stay home. I had to learn what goes on in the home with two children, infants, babies. Yeah, I was going to work at night, but during the day I was up. So my wife, she would come home some days. Why is the house looking? How dare you ask me why this place looking like these little savages don't. And then I realized, I used to do the same thing. Only because I didn't respect what she was doing. Now that I had to do this, I respect it tremendously. So no, I'll never, and my wife will tell you to this day, if I'm outside in the street running around, she's home, I'm never gonna come in the house and complain about any condition the home is in. Because whatever the condition the home is in, you had to have gone through something for that to be that way. Because naturally, I know you, I married you. This is not what you abide in. This is not how you live. But there had to be something that transpired in your day to cause this. And if we as individuals don't step out of our own day to go step behind that door and peek in mentally and say, it gotta be going through something. Because when you come home from a day, what happens? You walk into what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's havoc.
Yeah.
Kids doing what they doing, going crazy. The phones don't stop ringing. You got work that's calling your attention. Your wife needs some attention. You got things around to do around the home. All this is what's going on.
And let's keep it 100. Most men, once they walk through the door, they could be the biggest man outside, but once they walk through the door, they become another baby.
Word to my mother. So you tapped into something that I'm literally, so you know who I'm talking to right now. So I'm dealing with this in real time. Like I have a client right now that literally was lying to me, and his spouse told me what's going on. And then it's crazy because when this comes out, I'm going to give him the tape because he's been lying to me too. See, when the whole macho man out on the street and then come home and don't contribute and you become more of a dependent than the children, and then you wonder why she can't be for you what you want to be for you, you're a selfish little boy. That's what you are. Because in your mind, oh, I had no responsibility when I come in the house. I did my work already. Any man that's on that bullshit, you're not a man, bro.
And it's a lot of us.
A lot.
It's a lot of us.
And I'm not, like Jose, I'm not talking from a space that I wasn't at.
Yeah.
I can only sit here and speak this way because now I'm on the opposite side of that, and I respect what the home goes through throughout the day because, like I said before, I had to live in that shit. Yo, Jose, I go get 12 jobs a day, bro, rather than sit home.
Yeah.
And anybody right now in the comments, if you know what I'm talking about, get down in the comments. What's harder? Going outside, I don't give a fuck what your job is. Going outside and bringing some bacon back in the home or keeping that home together. You tell me down in the comments.
I know for a fact that it's going to be filled with people saying that they prefer to be out there getting that job, making that bacon.
Give me 12 jobs. Call me Jamaican.
Whoever can't, whatever man can't appreciate the type of work that your wife does at home, doesn't have respect towards his wife or his mother.
Yeah. Ooh, that hurts.
Take it a little bit further. Take it. Let me reverse that. Doesn't have any respect towards their mother, which brought them into this earth.
Right.
That did all of that for them.
Correct.
While they were growing up.
Correct.
So that means you would
probably
never.
To their detriment. Probably to this.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So you would never respect your wife at home. And that means then at the end of the day, what are you doing with your daughter if you have a daughter? Is that what you're teaching them?
And the cycle continues. And the cycle will continue.
So,
bro, now one thing I tell people is like, yo, you're literally setting yourself up for failure when you are in a space where you are criticizing someone's output when you don't know what it takes for them to give that output. You have no clue. Like, this is why now when people criticize me or even to talk shit about the podcast or they get their little snarty comments on my Instagram and all that, I don't respect you, Fancy Pants 16, because you don't even have the goal to do what I do. And the people who that do, it's a different respect level. I'm much willing to take criticism or some words from somebody who's sitting in the same seat I'm in rather than somebody that's sitting home digesting this shit. So that goes for any and everything. You can't speak on somebody when you don't know what they go throughout the day. And if you are and you got that energy, bro, just go put their shoes on for a day, bro. You really got the nuts, right? Yeah. You bout that life. Go spend a day in their shoes. And I can almost put my bottom dollar on it. You'll run back to your everyday. Run. You can't wait to punch in. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I have passion behind that, Jose, because like I said, I seen both sides of that. I went to work, came home, and was on that, oh, yeah, well, my food ain't on the table. That caveman shit, right? Why this ain't done? Why this ain't done? Until I realized, oh, shoot.
Go cook a meal, brother.
Yeah.
Go cook a full meal.
Yeah. And not even that. Start out in the morning cooking breakfast.
Yeah.
And then have to clean up breakfast. Yeah. The moment you're done cleaning breakfast, what's happening, Jose? Lunch is required.
Yep. and on top of that, you got a 9 to 5. and you got to take the kids to school too.
Let me sip my bubbly right quick. Keep going, because it ain't over yet. There's more. Oh, there's more. Seriously,
so
because
how you gonna judge somebody? How you gonna judge somebody that you're coming home to?
Yeah,
that's supposed to be the person that you respect in your home, right? Because this is your other half, who we call our better half,
right?
And you're not gonna give them the respect that they deserve for the amount of work that they're doing within the home, whether it's a man or a woman.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whether it's a man or a woman.
That don't matter.
It happens mostly from men to women.
Right, correct.
But whether it's a man or a woman, let's say you have a husband at home.
Even in that case, Jose, with the women towards the men, like women that sit home all day and complain about the man that's coming home because she's worked hard all day. She don't know what we just mentioned. He just fought traffic. He got his ass handed to him because he's late. All these things, and then he has to come home to this.
These false expectations are self-rooted.
Yeah.
and need to be dug out from within. Find out what it is that you're looking for this person. Do you have daddy or mommy issues that you're trying to solve? Are you looking for this man to be the replacement to your father? Are you looking for this woman to be the replacement to your mother?
Right.
What is it that you're seeking? What is it that you're looking for? Yeah. What void are you trying to fill with having these false expectations? Because false expectations towards your children are also self-rooted.
Yeah.
Right?
Those are deeper in you than anything.
They're most of the time they're deep failures that you don't want your children to go through.
Correct.
Most of the time.
Correct. Absolutely. Or pain.
And they shouldn't exist either.
True.
But when you have it towards, it's a different sense when they come out towards another grown person.
Absolutely. I think you used the word devastating and destruction. And having an expectation for something outside of yourself is setting yourself up. And then what you're going to do now is you're going to self-sabotage yourself.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to sabotage your relationship. Because what's happening is you're discrediting the work that they're putting in. Think about how you feel when you go to work or you go somewhere and someone is discrediting what you've put in all day. It's like an ultimate slap in the face.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Yeah.
So now what happens is, and especially in relationships, when that happens to one or the other person, the other person doesn't have the energy. A lot of times they go back and forth because they're exhausted. So now this becomes just on one side of the veer.
Yeah.
But the other person who's being quiet is now internalizing all this stuff. And guess what happens? Now you walk away. They're sitting with that. Now that's brewing.
Yeah.
That entire thing is brewing now. But guess what you have that they don't have? An outlet. Because when you go back to work the next day, you got some place to go. You'll sit around the water cooler and clear your head or vent to somebody or take it out on one of your coworkers or whatever it is that you do. You'll come back feeling relieved. And you'll look, what's wrong with you? Why you got an attitude? She or he hasn't had a time to go release that because what happened when you leave, the kids get back up. You can't talk to a child, me and your daddy today was, or me and your mama.
Yeah.
That's not helping, that's only harming. So who does that person who's locked in the home all day, who they talk to?
So, to the TV.
Or find somebody to gossip with on the phone.
And then, or they have somebody come in their ear and tell them, yo, you're going to be all right. And then what?
Ooh. Because,
that's where it gets ugly.
It gets dark. It gets dark.
It gets ugly.
So it's imperative, y'all. Like we said all that to say, your expectations for anyone outside of you is setting yourself up for a failure and it's putting unnecessary pressure on the people around you. If you have these expectations, your best bet is to step out of your shoes for a while and go see something, go learn something. And I can almost bet you'll change your outlook. You'll change your perception of what you think supposed to be or your expectation was supposed to be. Because like for me personally, when I even saw, for instance, what I saw what it took to coach boys, oh, trust me, I went and hugged my coaches. I went and bought one of my coaches a daggone watch. You put up with all this? You understand what I'm saying? Like, in order to appreciate, you got to go see and learn.
Yeah.
And that's how you kill those failed expectations for people outside of you.
And even coaches, bro. Even coaches. This goes right into then our next topic, which is self-destruction.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Right? Even coaches. A coach sits there and listens.
Facts.
And tries to guide you to the best of his ability. Mm-hmm. But who is his outlet? Mm-hmm. Who's his outlet? If he doesn't have one, then what?
Yeah.
Who pays the consequences for that?
Everyone around him. Everyone that's connected. Everyone that's directly connected to him.
It is self-destruction in itself, not to speak.
Yeah.
Not to speak. A good example for this is grab a bottle of Coke. Mm-hmm. pour a little bit of Coke inside, cover it up, and shake it. That's a little bit of problems.
Right.
You see it fizz, right? But it doesn't get to the top.
Right.
Pour a little bit more, cover it up, shake it again.
Yeah.
Still doesn't get to the top, but it's
getting
filling.
bigger. It's getting bigger.
Getting
there. Word up.
By the time all those problems have been absorbed, have been internalized, and you've had no outlet, it's like shaking that bottle while it's halfway full. Pow. It's gonna break.
Yeah. That pressure gonna pop. That pressure's gonna pop. And that's the danger. That's the danger, bro, of literally internalizing things and not having a space to bounce them off on. So I find myself in the most trouble when I talk and answer myself. Meaning I'm creating my own internal conflict. Right? So for instance, we talked about it. One of my bad habits was weed, right? I know for a fact it slows me down and it causes me not want to do the things I know I should be doing. But whenever I get into a space or aggravation, or my aggravation levels gets past what I like them to be, I reach for it. Now, the internal conflict comes into play because internally I know I should be doing X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
But that other side of the false habits, the bad habits, are like, oh, well, you know this makes you feel good. You know that just takes the edge off.
You know what I call weed? The weed is the I don't give a fuck drug. You take a hit, bro, and you're like, fuck this. Nigga, ain't nothing you can do that could get me mad. Fuck that.
Let me tell you.
You got to do what? Get it done.
All facts, no cap. Okay, like, and the truth, it's so true because like, it's something in the core. It gotta be like William said, fuck it. It's gotta be in there because word to mother, I'd be like,
fuck this
shit. I'm good, man. What? Do what?
Fuck this.
I don't need to do that shit. Like, and then like, it started out as when we was younger, right, as a party drug, something to do while we was out and about with our friends, have a fun experience. But then you get older, it's like, man, I don't feel like dealing with they. Fuck these niggas, man.
You know that's why I believe that I don't have a dependency on it because I never did drugs or smoked or anything when I was young during development. Ever. Anything. Not even alcohol.
Yeah.
I came to try weed for the first time after moving to Florida, after being a grown-ass man in my 30s.
Bro, we lived a total different life. When you say that,
and
I'm
mind
like,
you, I grew up
mushrooms.
I grew up around all of that, bro. I grew up around all of that. Like I said in one of our podcasts, we used to use the crack bottles as fucking Legos.
That's crazy.
I grew up around all of that.
Yeah.
And I'm not self-implicating myself for none of that.
No crack. I ain't smoked no crack, y'all.
I'm not self-implicating, but the reality, I never, for use, never touched any of it. I lived on Biggie's.
Never get high on your own supply. Yeah. Well, see, my thing was I wasn't getting high on my supply. I was getting high on somebody else's supply.
Yeah, well, whatever. The point is that I never tried smoking weed.
Yeah.
Until my late 30s.
Yeah.
Well, mid 30s.
And for that, I would say I wish I did have that path.
It'd be a different. Because it's a different experience, right? Yeah. At this point, you're fully developed. Your mind is fully developed. You'll never grow a dependency on it.
Yeah.
But when you start this during your development, you grow a dependency on it.
Absolutely. And I would say my dependency now is more of a mental and emotional space.
Yeah.
It's not a physical dependency where like, oh my God, I don't have it, I'm tripping. You know what I'm saying? But like when there's something triggers me or something pulls me out of a space that I'm, like I said, I'm not comfortable with dealing. Like I will deal, but I'm not my normal pace. I'll reach for it. I'm looking for it. So you see what I'm saying? So the dependency for when based upon a need when, excuse me, the bubbly got me going. Shout out to Bubbly, man. When it comes down to the dependency of it all.
Check your email, Bubby.
Word. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes,
do that again.
We're brothers. We're happy and we're singing and we're colored. Yeah. Yeah, we do this because we have fun doing it,
shit.
man. We do this because we have fun doing it. I swear to God, I love doing this shit. Oh, but the truth is, like, I forgot what I was saying.
Dependency always.
Yes. Look, there you go. Case in point. The dependency when I'm angry.
He smoked today, guys.
Yo, I did. I had to, y'all. Yo, I can't tell y'all just yet. When everything is cool, I'll tell y'all next week. But I had to today. And if you tune in next week, I'll tell you why I had to today. But yes, so this morning I definitely did partake. And I ain't gonna lie to you. I feel good about it. I ain't gonna. I might say pretend like, oh my God, I should have did that, man. Shit me. Nigga, I almost hit somebody. Lord have mercy. Oh, we gotta cut that out of there. I wasn't supposed to say that. Word, you gonna hit that boop boop button right there.
Oh man.
Yo, man, but we're coming down to the last few minutes though, bro. And the one thing I do want to say about like the internal conflicts, it will literally cause yourself to self-destruct. Like when you have an internal conflict, and then if you're not understanding what I mean when I say internal conflict is you're telling yourself one thing, but you believe something different.
Yeah.
Your belief system is set up to one way, but you, for whatever reason, you've grown outside of, you had an experience that's caused you to disregard that belief and have another thought now that's now contradicting your belief. And whenever that's happening, that's when you find yourself aggravated, annoyed, out of control, beyond yourself. You see what I'm saying? Like the natural characteristics of who you are will be flushed away because now only thing you can deal with is the fact that you have this internal conflict. And when you have something brewing internally as a conflict, there is no peace.
And I want everybody out there, all of our imperfect families, to do an exercise. Do an exercise. Sit down and think about your thoughts. Let's put thought into our thoughts. Yeah. And when you find yourself expecting something from somebody and you end up aggravated because your expectations weren't met, sit down and analyze them. Mm-hmm. Think about them.
Yeah.
So that you can react differently next time that occurs. Because you being aggravated for unmet expectations is nobody else's fault but our own.
Correct. True.
It's not the person's fault for not meeting your expectations because they are your expectations, not theirs.
Right.
So let's sit down, analyze what's going on, put thought into our thoughts, and try to react differently towards unmet expectations. Yeah. Because like I tell my kids all the time, our greatest superpower is how we react to what we can't control.
Facts.
If you react negatively towards something that you have no control over, that is your kryptonite.
Yeah.
So you need to find a way to remove that kryptonite from your life.
Absolutely. I look at the things that I cannot control now as this stage of my life as God's work. Like when you know it's out of your capacity, it's out of your arm's reach, it's out of your ability, right? That's when you have to let whoever you call God be God. Whatever your source is, your higher sources, that's when you have to let that be that. Because at the end of the day, it's more things that you can't do than you can do. And if you allow yourself to be bombarded with all the things that you can't do, or you're telling yourself you can't do, you're only going to find yourself in a tailspin. And before you know it, self-destruction is literally at your front door.
What does the scripture says? Our thought are not of ours, but of the enemies.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like, to be honest, bro, I tell everyone that has a hard time with their negative thinking, it's not yours. So you just own the fact that these thoughts are yours, but it's not yours.
It's not.
And the way it's crazy, a monk broke it down that made me understand it more. So we have a hard time with our thoughts, but the truth of the matter is you got to think of your thoughts as a movie theater. So your brain is a screen. It's a white screen, right? It takes a projector to put images on it. That projector are your thoughts. You can't control those. You can just literally let them play across. Yeah. Literally. You can control what you do, but you can't control those. So you have to look at them for what they are. I am not my thoughts, and my thoughts are not me. Because at the end of the day, you have millions of negative thoughts. I can tell y'all right now, I threw somebody off the roof in my brain the other day.
Oh, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yo.
And you know the sternest part about this, the biggest part about this is that you have your thoughts, but to you, your thoughts are not in a negative state.
Right.
Are not towards negativity.
True.
But don't they come out wrong?
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, thoughts do. Yeah, and then the fact that you can't control your thoughts has to be understood that that's not yours. You dig what I'm saying? Like, the thoughts that you have in your head that pop up in your mind, the sporadic ones, they're not yours. Because you can't say, well, I put that there. Because you always ask yourself, why am I thinking about this shit?
You don't wake up wanting to be sad.
No.
You don't wake up wanting to be depressed.
No. But it
doesn't it say in the scripture, live in fulfillment, live in joy?
And one thing
you want to be happy. We are happy beings by nature. That's how God made us.
Yeah.
He made us happy beings by nature.
Yeah.
We don't want to be depressed.
The only way, and this is crazy because TD said this a while ago, and somebody else too, but I've heard him say it first. He said, if you're depressed, that means you're living in the past. If you have anxiety, that means you're living too far in the future. At peace and joy is in the present. This is why they say the present is a gift.
I like that saying.
You dig what I'm saying? Because
if you are depressed, you are living too far in the past.
Correct.
If you have anxiety, you are living too far in the future.
Yeah.
Peace comes in living today.
In the present. And the present is a gift. That's why we should say thank you for every single moment that we're in. Not so much that we've been through or that we're going to see, but the actual present moment is where you should be grateful at. And that's where true peace and joy comes.
That phrase needs some framing. Put that up as a frame.
It might be another t-shirt because we got the merch coming, y'all. Yo, I ain't gonna lie to you. This man is nice with that digital currency, that digital artwork. So we got a shirt that's coming out. I can't wait to put it on. Fire! So be looking for the merch. It's coming out. We've been talking about it, but just because we're talking about it, y'all ain't seen it, that does not mean that we're not working on it. So we're in the background working on it, y'all.
So yesterday, what we were talking about, my daughter comes in the room and she goes, "Huh, that looks like a mix of you and Doc."
Yeah. That's my niece right there. That's my niece right there, son. Yeah, Jay, word up. And see, great minds think alike, baby. She wasn't even here when I was saying that, was she? She wasn't even in the house when I was saying that, bro. That's my niece, right? That's my baby right there, man. Shout out to her, man.
Oh, man.
Yo, man, we got to be down to the last minute. I see right now. We're coming down to the last few minutes, man. But I always ask you, what did you have to tell people for our last words? But I really want you to speak to the fathers right now about really understanding like failed expectations and how they can really change that around and have it work for them, bro.
Listen, we all live through that. Every single person lives through that stage in their life where they find themselves having these unrealistic expectations, and the type of spiral they can cause, because you end up hurting your family through that process. What I can say to you guys is what I was mentioning in the exercise. Put thought into your thoughts. Sit down in serenity and understand what's putting you in this place. That is the only way that you'll be able to find yourself and find that center that you need to be able to understand that these expectations are something that's within you. And that the person that you are trying to have these expectations for is probably trying to do the best they can to please you. So be appreciative for their time and what they are doing because what they are doing is probably the best that they can do. And you're holding them in a place that's only going to have you meet failure and them not be able to achieve success.
Set them up for failure, man. Bro. I want to, my last words I'm going to give you guys today, I'm going to speak on the internal conflict that leads to self-destruction. Understand that we all have a internal compass that is set from birth. This is where our beliefs set up. This is where we believe things. This is where our standpoint of life comes from. It's your moral compass. We'll have things that come into our life that will cause us to change, where we see things, feel, and operate things. But be careful amongst every change that you embody, because once you introduce something that goes against your moral compass, you're introducing an internal conflict that at some point will be the self-destruction that you wonder, how did I get here? I'm not telling y'all this from a book, because I know I'm not even the greatest reader of all times. But what I'm telling y'all is from life experience of my own. And as well as the other men that I speak and coach on a day-to-day basis, what you do not want to do is be in conflict with you. Do your best to be the realist with you. And if you're at a new age and stage that you're at right now, be okay with not knowing, because you've never been here before. Take the time to learn what you're looking at right now, and don't let it base upon yesteryear. Understand that you have to move forward, and the only way you can move forward is dealing with that conflict. Don't run from it, run to it. If you need help, reach out, because that right there is your truth. And once you embody it, that internal conflict dissipates, and you are now operating as your true, authentic, and genuine self. So I said a mouthful, and we said a lot this episode, but I really want you guys to let this sit and resonate. Think about to yourself, where are your failed expectations, and how many internal conflicts is causing you to self-destruct? And understand that we're not coming at you, we're coming with you. We do this, we say this out of love, because this is where we are, where we've been, and where we're going. So with that being said, your Jose, once again, as always, my God, thank you for a dope episode. And as usual, to the fathers, to the world, wait, like, comment, and subscribe. You thought a nigga forgot. No. You hit that button, man, that like, that comment, and subscribe button. And also share it out, man. We are growing only because of you guys, so we thank you, man. Once again, Imperfects, you are the best. We appreciate y'all, man. But as I was saying, your fathers, to the world, you're just a dad, bro. But to your family, you are their world. Don't take that for lightly. Don't take it for granted. Understand it, embody it, and walk in it. But until we see you guys in these podcast streets again, be good to yourself and the ones around you. And if you can't be good to the ones around you, that's okay. Just get them folk from around you. That's it. Yo, this is your boy RJD, the Imperfect Gentleman, and
your boy JP, the Imperfect Husband.
This has been another dope episode of the Imperfect Fathers Podcast. Y'all be blessed, because we will.
Peace. Another one.
Another one. Yeah.